KT7 up here. Today, I will review and showcase 140 Seifer from the FF8 collaboration rerun. He is a 100 cost dark unit in the Sword Warrior group. His sub-jobs are High Dragoon and Nightblade. He is a frontline attacker with some amazing offensive capabilities. Seifer is a very strong unit in the current meta. He solves the Sephiroth and Gilgamesh problem. He is also very accurate and can be very evasive. There is a lot in his kit. These are the items we will go over today. Let's get started. Let's start off with his TMR. It is a cloth. The stats are HP 414, Defense 13, and Crit Evade 8. The ability is a self +1 ally buff with range of 3. Increase the unit's reaction block rate by 50, and lower target's physical damage output by 10% when they land a hit. Pretty cool ability, but not that special, and it takes away the armor slot. Continuing on to his attack type resistances. He has 25 to slash, 10 to strike, 5 to missile, and 10 to magic. Only negative is to pierce, at -10. Very strong resistances overall. His ailment resistances are 10 to poison, 50 to frostbite, and 50 to charm. He is a 50 faith unit, but I still recommend giving him curse resistance from Truststones. And he can equip swords, clots, and hats. Next stats comparison. His HP is at 4314, which is in line with other next-gen units. His attack stat is at 438, which is low compared to the other next-gen units, but has access to 2 different attack-up support abilities. His agility can reach 77 with support equipped. His luck stat is very high at 198. He can be very evasive if you build for it. Moving over to his master ability and 140 upgrades. His master ability gives him 20 slash penetration and 40 reaction block rate. At level 140, he gets AoE resistance 15, accuracy 15. And increase the range of his large AoE attack by 1, also give it 1 more use. Next, his new weapon. You can only get 1 copy of the sword. It came as the assault type. The general ability is slash attack up 15. For Seifer only, he also gets accuracy 15, healing power up 15, and 8 AoE resistance. This is his best weapon in my opinion. It frees up 2 Truststone slots. The second item is the Sorceress's Letter from Trial of Reckoning. The general ability is critical evasion 30. And for Seifer, he gets physical man-eater 20, and unit resistance 10. This is the first non-heavy armor gear that has crit evasion. This is one of the best equipment for Seifer. I recommend the aim type for him. Moving over to his support abilities. Support number 1 gives him defense penetration 40, slash penetration 40, and all wide guard 15. This has to be on him at all times. Main support number 2 gives him attack 24%, accuracy 25, and lower AP consumption 25. I typically have this on him as well, to avoid random misses against semi-evasion units. His main job reaction has a 70% chance to prop. It lowers incoming slash and strike damage by 40%. This is his best reaction ability. Next up is LB. It is a unit attack with range of 4 and range height of 1. Before damage, dispel all buffs from target and lower target's unit resistance by 60%. Then deals extra large damage and recover 10 AP for Seifer. This is very strong, general dispel, and unit resistance shred. Now his buffing abilities. His highest priority buff is his crazy group buff. The 4 turns group effects are all wide guard 25, and lower targets debuff weakening by 30 on hit. The debuff effect lasts for 3 turns. Debuff weakening imperil is the first in the game. This is especially great against units that rely on healing. The self-only effects also last for 4 turns. Human resistance 15, 50% all damage barrier, and absorb 50% of the damage dealt. All for 4 turns. His barrier is turn-based, so he will take 50% less damage for 4 turns. But it can be broken just like the multi-hits barriers. He also gets a one-time 50% HP auto heal back when his HP drops below half. This might be the craziest buff in the game. The 4-turn barrier, HP absorb and auto heal back are his main source of survivability. It is very difficult to take him down when his barrier is active. Next, his second priority ability. This buff gives him 4-turn attack up 40%, AP auto restore medium, and lower target's healing power 20 on hit for 3 turns. He does rely on AP Auto Restore when Veritas's TMR is effective against him. Moving over to his attacks. The first on the list is his signature ability. It is an AoE attack with the calculated Ren shape. It can hit up to 6 panels away, has range height of 1 and area height of 1. The before damage effects are Dispel Re-Raise, breaks physical barriers, and lower target's AoE resistance by 60% for 3 turns. Then deals large damage, and lower target's healing power by 50 for 3 turns. This healing power imperil stacks with his self buff. This attack is the Sephiroth killing ability, very strong in the current meta. Every next-gen unit has a barrier, half of them have re-raise or some sort of self-healing. This ability can take care of all of those. This is the most valuable ability in his whole kit. The second attack on the list is a unit attack. Range 4 and range height of 1. Before damage, remove all debuffs from self, then deals 2 hit extra large damage. This is very handy when he is hit with healing power down or any debuffs. The third attack is the low AP ability. A unit attack with range of 2, and range height of 1. Before damage, lower target's reaction by 100 for 3 turns, then deals small damage. His job level 25 ability is a sure hit cross shape AoE attack that can hit up to 4 panels away. It is really good to have a sure hit to fall back on, and it does large damage. Next, his main sub abilities. The first one on the list is a TP skill with range up to 4. Reduce target's physical damage output by 20% for 3 turn, and 25% chance to inflict 3 turn slow. The second sub-ability is a square-shaped AoE attack with a range of 2 and range height of 1. Before damage, lower target's defense by 60%, then deals medium damage. Defense Shred is not as impactful, but could be useful when your team are hit by defense penetration imperils. That's all for his main sub. Let's check out his High Dragoon. This is a very strong sub-job. High Dragoon lore support ability gives him 24% attack and 40 defense penetration. High Dragoon Focus has 12% agility and 12 strike resistance. Both of these are really good. If you are running him as semi-evade unit, High Dragoon Focus is the one you want. If want to maximize his damage output, give him High Dragoon lore. The reaction ability is Preemptive Piercer. A 30% chance to preemptive counter. However, the range is too short, I don't recommend it. The two notable abilities are Dispel Spear and Stunning Lance. Dispel Spear gives him a range 4 AoE Dispel. Stunning Lance could stun your enemy, but it likely won't land. He also has Draining Dive, but it has a cast time, I usually have it turned off. High Dragoon is the sub-job I like for him the most. Next, Nightblade. He gets Nightblade Mastery, giving him 30% attack, 25 accuracy but lower his evasion by 10. Never use this, if you need accuracy, go with his main support number 2. That has 24% attack, 25 accuracy, and lower his AP consumption. All without the evasion penalty. The reaction ability is from Nightblade Counter Swing. The two notable abilities are Maiming Slash for more healing power down. And Double Resist, it could be useful against Win Veritas's TMR on longer maps. But be sure to get your turn order right. Okay, that's all for his kit. Let's go to his VC. His VC will come 1 week after his release. It supports Sword Warrior, Sword Knight, and Fist. The stats are HP 369, Attack 148, and 13 Luck. The party abilities are AoE Resistance 24, Slash Resistance 16, and Physical Man-Eater 25. The bestowed effects are Attack 10% and Agility 5%. Holo ability for quest content is AP Consumption down 15. And VC Mastery are Luck 4% and Accuracy 3, also for quest content only. This is a very good card. The only AoE resistance VC for both Sword Warrior and Sword Knight. Slash resistance is not bad in the current meta, and Physical Man-Eater is just good, especially for Ashen King. I highly recommend this VC, it supports 2 of the 3 sword group. Very nice. Next up, equipments, Espers, and Truststones. His new sword, Hyperion, is his best weapon, opens up 2 Truststone slots. Blood Sword +1 will give him more damage, and some more healing, but I like the flexibility from Hyperion. In the second slot, the Winter Coat is best for evasion build. The Sorceress's Letter +5 is my go-to when I am not building him for evade. It is great for more accuracy and 10-unit resistance. A high agility TMR is always good. A haste TMR is also good, but he typically cannot get a third buff off. Next is Espers. For evasion build, Dark Ifrit, Dark Odin or Imar Chimera. For accuracy, regular Odin or Sildra. For max damage, Anima or Dark Bahamut. Next is Truststones. With the equipment showing below, I like Luck on the left to increase his evasion and accuracy rate. Be sure to give him curse resistance, he does rely heavily on healing. On the right, I like Agility. With Hyperion, you can give him crit rate and crit damage. The abilities highlighted in yellow are interchangeable. Seifer has 20 slash penetration and 40 reaction block rate from his master ability. And he can easily build to have around 90 slash penetration. So you can sub out his slash penetration with reaction block rate or acquired AP. Moving on to sample teams. I have prepared more teams than usual, let's get into it. The first team is Warrior plus Greatsword with Spring Jum and Cloud. This is the Seifer setup I like the most, it can deal with Gilgamesh and Sephiroth quite well. With some equipment adjustments, this team can take on Shurecca and Gilgamesh. Seifer's job is to break barriers and remove re-raise early in a fight, then let his teammates do the rest. Cloud is here to run up with his magic HP barrier and take magic damage. He is on Hydreigon sub, with both his main job support abilities and main job reaction. His main supports cover pretty much everything he needs to land hits and deal good damage. His defense penetration is at 60, and slash penetration at 70. Should you want more slash penetration, you can use Triple Trick as a sub-card. Or if you want him to be slightly evasive, switch out support number 2 for Hydreigon focus. Use Secrets of the Heart and take out Ifrit. Also, give him Winter Coat, plus a high evasion TMR. This team is a better version of the Greatsword team. Astrius or A2 can take the place of Jim, but they are not as good. The only VC that does not support Seifer is the A2 AoE resistance card. That's fine, he has a 4-turn barrier and wide guard to help against AoE attacks. The second team is the Dark and Light team with Fina and Cloud. The support abilities and reaction are the same as the last team. Fina is a healer that can cure curse, this is a great combo to go against Sephiroth, I will go over her kit in her 140 video. Her VC supports all 3 units, it has 18% agility, 20 accuracy, and 25% max HP. A very good card for this setup, but I have skipped it. The Black Rose card is a decent replacement, it has 15% agility for the whole team, and 25 accuracy for Seifer. But losing out on the HP could be the difference. HP has become one of the most important stats. Seifer has very good accuracy in this setup. Should you want even more accuracy for him, give him regular Odin Esper. It can push his to 160 range. The third team is the Warrior and Knight team with Ashen King and Lucio. This is his semi-evade setup. I switched out his support number 2 with Hydreigon focus for more agility. Warrior and Knight share unit resistance, AoE resistance, agility and luck VCs. They can easily be put together, just plug in any 2 sub VCs, and they are good to go. Seifer's VC also has 25 physical man-eater besides the 24 AoE resistance. Together with the FF5 card, Ashen King gains 43 man-eater. In this setup, Seifer's defense penetration is at 50, and slash penetration is at 98. A evasion setup with AoE and unit resistance VC is pretty strong. If you don't want to run semi-evasion, you can take out the sub-luck card for more attack or resistance. Lucio can give Seifer re-raise, which covers for his biggest weakness. She can also haste the 2 attackers. She is the perfect support for units like Seifer and Shurecca that don't have access to re-raise or courage. If you don't have Lucio, Shawls can give him courage and could work. Or just run 3 DPS units. Lucio and Bradley are my top choice as backups. Fire Kingmont is also a good choice. The fourth team is a mono dark team with Vivi and Raph. This is a typical dark setup. It is difficult for mono element teams in the next gen era. Win with Shurecca might be the only exception. But when they release more next gen units, mono element teams will come back. Seifer with Raph is not a bad combo, her 5-turn aura can help Heim take more physical attacks. Vivi still has the stun threat. In this setup, I switched Seifer's to Hydreigon lore for 24% more attack. and 40 more defense penetration, for a total of 96 defense pen. And with anima in the main slot, Seifer's slash penetration is above 100. It is okay to remove defense and slash penetration from his Truststone for this setup. Next is the Seifer plus Sonliel slide. Sonliel is coming out in the next few hours. She is a farmable UR unit. If I can get her to 140 in the next 24 hours, I will include her in sample matches. She is a dark evasion unit in the warrior group. She and Seifer can form an evasion team. There is a global exclusive luck VC for dark. It can replace Secrets of the Hearts. It also has 10 slash penetration. In this setup, his luck is at 626 and evasion at 124. Sword Warrior is set up to be a very evasive group. The team at the bottom is another mono dark team, but this one focuses on physical damage dealers. The last sample slide is the don't care teams. There is very little VC synergies, but these next gen units are so strong. All they need are 2 agility cards and they can go destroy things, especially with units like Gilgamesh and Shurecca. Seifer's job is to break barrier and remove re-raise, and he can do that even without any VC support. The warrior and black mage connection also makes him a good candidate to team up with Shurecca. That's all the team I am showing today. Let's move over to VCs for the Sword Warrior group. The Sword Warrior group is finally ready with Seifer's AoE resistance VC. Warrior and Knight are officially tied together. And they're the evasion group with Halloween Lucio's VC and Yuffie's VC. Some notable crossovers are Great Sword, Black Mage, and Bow. I have already featured most of these crossovers in sample teams. Now my final thoughts of Seifer. He is a unit that will have staying power. A range 6 barrier break and re-raise removal will not be outdated. His kit brings a lot of offensive utilities. His healing power in peril is great in the current meta. Combined with his debuff weakening in peril, it is hard to defend against his healing power down. He can single-handedly shut down your enemy's healing capabilities. His debuff weakening in peril can be passed on to teammates too. He also has 60% shreds against both AoE and unit resistance. With his superb accuracy, no semi-evasion unit can escape him. He has a general dispel LB as well. There is really nothing else we can ask for from a DPS unit. His 4-turn 50% damage barrier is really good, but it does end. And he has no courage or re-raise to fall back on. That is one of his weakness. Once the barrier runs out or it gets broken, he is super vulnerable. His 50% damage absorption and auto heal back can be weakened by healing power down, and he does not have any debuff weakening from his kit. He is his own counter. That should tell you, his offensive capabilities are very meta. His kit is really strong overall. We are still in the transition period to next gen. Every new unit that comes out is good. Seifer is no exception. He is definitely not in the same tier as Gilgamesh and Ashen King, but I think has better long-term value than those two. In my cloud video, I said Astrius is great because of his long-range barrier break. With Seifer, he can also break barrier from long range, plus he can remove re-raise with just one ability. If you have cloud, or having trouble with Sephiroth and Gilgamesh, I highly recommend Seifer. However, I don't think he is a meta-defining unit. Gilgamesh and Shurecca are. The collab lasts over 30 days, you might want to check out Shurecca first before pulling. His VC is the only AoE resistance card for Sword Warrior and Sword Knight. I highly recommend to pick it up. Now let's go to some sample matches. The first match of the day is Warrior and Great Sword against the most meta team. I have Secrets of the Heart as a sub just to give Seifer a little bit of evasion. Cloud's barrier is great against the current magic meta. Seifer's first action is Group Buff. Grants the group 4-turn all wide guard 25, and lower targets debuff weakening 30 on hit for 3 turns. For himself, 50% all damage barrier, human resistance 15 and absorb 50% of damage dealt, all for 4 turns. Also a 50% HP auto heal back when his health drops below half. Second action, Self Buff. Attack up 40%, AP auto restore medium, and lower targets healing power 20 on hit, all for 4 turns. The healing power down effect lasts for 3 turns. This is a longer map, so Seifer has a chance for a TMR buff. Ketone's TMR to give him hate down and increase his move and jump by 1. Cloud has his magic HP barrier up, then move forward to soak up magic damage. The enemy team has 3 different status ailments. This is one of the reasons why they are so good even with less than ideal VC setup. And of course the biggest threats are the 2 units that have follow-up attack. Cloud will be taking a lot of magic attacks. Seifer is now going for his signature attack. Before damage dispel re-raise, break physical damage barrier, and lower target's AoE resistance by 60% for 3 turns. Then deals large damage, and lower target's healing power 50 for 3 turns. Sephiroth's barrier and re-raise are gone after Seifer's attack, enabling Jum to take him out. Seifer so far has been tanking hits very well, but his 4-turn barrier will be out after his next action. Procs his HP auto heal back. He is going in for his signature attack again. This is the last turn of his 4-turn barrier. Heal back to full with his damage absorption. After his barrier is out, he can easily be one-punched by Gilgamesh. But considering the team he is up against, he did very good. The second match of the day is from last month's Quick Pick. Warrior and Greatsword against Katana and Gilgamesh. Seifer is great against most of the recently released units. He is a counter to the meta. He starts off with his group buff. Grants the group 4-turn all wide guard 25, and lower targets debuff weakening 30 on hit for 3 turns. For himself, 50% all damage barrier, human resistance 15 and absorb 50% of damage dealt, all for 4 turns. Also a 50% HP auto heal back when his health drops below half. Enemy Sephiroth is way up front. My Seifer will get baited to attack, but that's totally fine. His signature attack. Before damage dispel re-raise, break physical damage barrier, and lower target's AoE resistance by 60% for 3 turns. Then deals large damage, and lower target's healing power 50 for 3 turns. Just like that, Sephiroth is done. 2 attacks and good night. Seifer now goes for his LB. Before damage, dispel all buffs, and lower target's unit resistance by 60% for 3 turns. Then deals extra large damage, and recover 10 AP for self. With his 50% all damage barrier, he took that attack quite well. This is his low AP attack. Lower target's reaction block rate by 100 for 3 turns. Then deal small damage. Since he got baited to attack too early, he is running out of AP. HP auto heal back from his group buff. This is his low AP attack again to finish off the enemy. The third match of the day is Seifer with Fina against Mono Dark. This is a good match to show how Seifer fare against Cloud and Fina. Crazy group buff to start. On the enemy side, Raph has re-raise and barrier. Vivi has re-raise, and Seifer has barrier. On my side, Fina has barrier and re-raise. Seifer has barrier. This is everything Seifer is meant to deal with. When you are using him, Cloud could be a problem if he has enough accuracy to land his barrier break LB on him. This is his self buff. My Cloud just broke Raph and Seifer's barriers. Then my Seifer goes in for his signature attack. Remove re-raise from Raph, and lower healing power on both targets. Enemy Seifer using his large AoE on Fina. One shot at her. Her re-raise and nullify damage barrier meant nothing. Low AP ability to proc Vivi's re-raise. That's how the AI works. It does not take re-raise and courage into consideration if the low damage ability is enough to take out the target. This is the last match of the day. Full evade warrior against Shurecca. I just got Somliel to 140, will need some time to play around with her. Evasion without nullify sure hit does not work well in the current meta. I think the Seifer and Somliel pairing can catch people off guard, but I don't recommend it. Seifer is awesome, but Shurecca is coming in 3 weeks, pull wisely. Anyways, that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching. Good luck on your pulls. Have a good one.